Hi, today I will talk about something interesting. I will talk about the Voyager spacecrafts. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 are space probes that were launched by NASA in 1977, 42 years ago. On its journey, Voyager 1 has done many interesting things. It flew past Jupiter and took some incredibly amazing photos of Jupiter that you can see in NASA's website. And then it went past Saturn, and it discovered several moons for Saturn, and a new ring of Saturn, and then it went past Uranus, Neptune, and then finally in 1912 it entered the interstellar space. It crossed the heliosphere, which is the farthest from for our solar system, and then it entered the interstellar space, which means the space between two stars. It's now 21 billion kilometers away from Earth. Um, Now, in his lifetime, Voyager has done many interesting things as just described, but that's not why I am so fascinated by these two space probes. Why I am so fascinated, I will explain in a moment. And that relates to cosmology. Um, Cosmology means our description about the cosmos. Now there are two different descriptions of the cosmos. One comes from the mythology, where each culture describes the cosmos in its own myths, and they are very interesting. Every culture has one. For example, in India, I think we describe that the earth is held by a big snake, and the snake is sitting on a tortoise, and the tortoise is standing on an elephant. I don't know the exact sequence of animals, but something of that sort. And these are all fantastic description of the universe, and science seems like children's story, but believe me, I mean, the stories from other culture is no different. They are equally fantastic. The other description of cosmos comes from rational description of cosmos. It started in Greece, and partly probably in India, about how they try to rationally describe the heavenly bodies, their movement in concentric circles. And that theory got refined more and more, and then finally was eventually given a mathematical model, starting with Kepler's planetary motions, and then Galileo advanced it with his laws of motion and his telescope, about how he could see all the moons of Jupiter and other planets. And then finally came the triumph of Newton's theory of gravitation, by which he could precisely describe our solar system, the motion of the planetary motions of the heavenly objects, to the last degree of precision. That was the ultimate triumph of mathematics, and he wrote that in his book Principia Mathematica. So we have this book which has this mathematical description of our solar system, the planets, and how they move around, and it gives precise prediction about their position and their speed and position, right? So that was the description, the model, mathematical model of the universe sitting there in his book, Principia Mathematica. And then there exists this reality of the actual solar system with the planets and the moons and the sun. Not until in 50s and 60s, when he started sending probes to this planet, we could actually touch and really see these planets and verify this model physically with the actual reality. That's what happened. Of course, the description of the cosmos didn't stop with Newton's theory of gravitation. It went uh, further refinement with Einstein's theory of general relativity and his description of cosmology. And then we came up with this idea of space-time and manifold, and this beautiful mathematical equations of how to describe the space-time. And from that came along the theory of Big Bang and expanding universe, galaxies, and stars. And along came the more exotic heavenly bodies of black holes and quasars and pulsars and Newton stars and so on. I mean, and if you think about these this description of this cosmos, of this universe, by the modern description, it is equally bizarre. I mean, colliding galaxies and black holes hitting stars and stars exploding in in quasars is not very accessible to us human being. Not much very different from the description in the mythology of animals holding the earth and the sun. Both are equally inaccessible in my opinion. And if you see, the mathematical description sits in our notebooks and in our books, and the actual reality is out there. The only connection between the two is in our head, right? There is no real connection between the two. We couldn't access that bizarre world of the universe as described in this mathematics by ourselves, except with our intellect. Only when Voyager 1 entered this interstellar space for the first time, first man-made object to do so, we could make a real connection between the model of the expanding universe with the galaxies and the stars and the actual physical reality of it. Now we could physically go there and probe the interstellar space and actually measure what we long predicted with our mathematical model to the accuracy of 10 to the power minus 20, or to that mind-boggling precision. And that is, in my opinion, the ultimate triumph of the Voyager program, that making that connection between the mathematical model of the universe that we have built and the actual universe out there. That and along with some very, very cool, interesting facts about how Voyager is moving 1.5 million kilometers every day, and how it communicates with the Earth, and it takes 21 hours for any signal to be sent from Earth to reach Voyager 1, and how we are constantly improvising to be able to communicate with a spacecraft that is so far off, and how it holds in his disk about information about humanity, and how it will keep going forever into the outer space to be probably discovered someday by some alien civilizations, and who will know about us. This is, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful stories about space exploration that human being or NASA has ever done. I have some videos that I'm going to post in the description. If you are interested, please do watch them. They are really fascinating. Thanks for watching.